Hey, you've probably heard of the term chord progression, but what does it actually mean? Well, if you're confused or don't understand what this term is, then this video is for you. Firstly, we have to do a quick recap of some basic music theory so that we're on the same page. To understand what a chord progression is, we need to understand a few bits about the major scale. The major scale is comprised of a formula that has steps, which is 2 frets, and half steps, which is 1 fret on the guitar. And in that formula, the major scale follows the pattern of step, step, half step, 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 half step. And then you repeat that pattern and you get the major scale infinitum, which generates the major scale like this. Each of these steps and half steps are scale degrees in the major scale, and they have a Roman numeral assigned to them. This is to reference each of those notes and the relationship between that note and the starting note or the root note. After understanding the Roman numerals or the numbers on the notes of the major scale, we then try to form chords with the notes we have. Chords, by definition, are 3 notes or more. If we take the first note from the scale and then we add the 2 notes that we need to generate it into the chord, we'll have the first chord that we will need to demonstrate to you how this major scale relationship works. To get the next note up from the root, we need to go up the scale by 3. Let's take the key of C, and if we go up from C by 3, we get the note E. So C, E. To get the next note, we go up 3 again. So we go from E, F, then G. So we get C, E, G. Every time you count, you're including the starting note that you've counted from. So there's no 0 to 1, it's 1 to thing. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc. And with that C, E, G, you can see that we've spelt out the C chord. And that type of chord is a major chord because of the relationships of the notes together. So we get a C major. So if you continue that same logic with the other notes and start from those notes, you will generate different chords because of the relationships that you've made and the notes that you have chosen inside the major scale. So if we continue that pattern and do that with the D note, E note, F note, G note, A note, and then B note in the key of C and back to C, you will gain the chord sequence of, you'll get major, and then you would go to D, you get minor, then you go to E, then you get minor again, then you go to F, you get major, G, major, and then you go to A, you get minor, and then you get to B, then you get like half diminished. And then you come back to C again, C major. So it's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, half diminished, and then back to C. So to make that super clear, to make it relevant to understanding chord progressions, C is your first chord, and that's a C major. D is your second chord, and that's your D minor. E is your third chord, and that's an E minor. Then you've got F, which is your fourth chord, which is your F major. Then you've got G, which is your fifth chord, which is a G major. Then you've got your sixth chord, which is A minor, and then you've got B half diminished. And then you go back to your major chord. This is the basis for understanding your chord progressions. Now we have the same understanding when we're talking about chord progressions. We can put 2 and 2 together. and we can start creating chord progressions based on prior knowledge that we've learned in this video. So if I say to you, what is a 1-4-5 in the key of C, using the previous knowledge, we know that the first chord is C major, the fourth chord is F major, and the fifth chord is G major. If you followed me so far, that penny should have dropped of like how we read chord progressions, and that should really help you. This is what that chord progression would sound like. The great thing about knowing chord progression numbers is that it helps when you move through different keys because of the relationship is the same to the root. If we follow the same process but we start with the root note of F and we do an F major scale or an F, everything related to F, and we do the same chord progression of 1-4-5, we will get the notes and chords F major for the first chord, B flat for the fourth note, but B flat major for the fourth chord, and then we get C at C major for our fifth note and fifth chord, so C major. And it sounds like this. Now we have that understanding and basis, we can do this with other common chord progressions. If we take a look at some common chord progressions, we can start finding these in songs that we like or things that we're familiar with, and you'll gain familiarity by practicing chord progressions. Here are 3 common chord progressions. The first one is 2-5-1-6. And if you get stuck, refer to the previous things that we've talked about in this video. To make this easier for people who are just coming on to chord progressions, we'll keep it in the key of C. In the key of C, 2-5-1-6 gives you the chords of D minor, so number 2. Then you've got G major for the 5, and then C major for the 1, and then A minor for the 6. Which sounds like this. The second most common chord progression is 1-6-4-5. You'll probably hear this a lot with like loads of songs that you've heard before. So if you know any of those songs, comment them down in the comment section and I would love to see your responses. In the key of C, the chords would be C, A minor, F, and G. So C is the first chord, A minor is the 6th chord, F is the 4th chord, and G is the 5th chord. And lastly, we look at the chord progression 6-4-1-5. In the key of C major, that would be A minor, F, C, and G. So A minor being the 6th chord, F being the 4th chord, C being the 1st chord, and G being the 5th chord. This progression is better for more minor centered sounds. It sounds like this. I hope this video is a good introductory course on learning what chord progressions are and how to understand them. If you have any questions about them, please leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. For now, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video and you want to see more educational content from us at Grokit, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.